that music. Hey, it's me, Mrs. G. Ladies Conversation with Mrs. G. Is it funny I'm by myself today? Is it? It's all new. I'm coming with a new podcast, a lady's perspective. We're going to talk about different things that ladies talk about. And it's kind of weird because I don't have Kevin right to the side, but is that my grandbaby? Hey, baby. Yes, my grandbaby is on here. Hi, Kaya. How you doing? So we're going to get into it. I have a special guest coming in, and we're going to talk about a subject that all ladies go through all the time, perimenopause and menopause, child. Oh, goodness. So we're going to get started, but we're going to do first, I have to get that disclaimer out the way. This podcast is not to bash anyone, nor be a negative show. My purpose is to talk about issues and the topics from a woman's perspective. These are strictly my opinions and my opinions of my guests. So please do not take it personal. All right. You know what? I got to get into it. This is followed by Marshall Media Group. This is our sponsors, Marshall Media Group, LLC, Mr. and Mrs. Marshall Podcast, and More Than a Coach Podcast. So I wanted to say something before we get into me telling you about the Mrs. G podcast and also about Mrs. G Pre-K. I just wanted to come on here and see. I'll be on here once a month, once a month on Tuesdays at 8:00. And I just wanted to just kick it and have a conversation. Let's kick it as women. Let's have these conversations, these deep conversations. So we're gonna get into that right now. You see my sound man over here. Hey sis, Keyshawn. Hey sis, how you doing? Thank you. Everybody that is tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. So we're going to get into the ladies' conversation with Mrs. G. I also have something going on with Mrs. G Learning Time Pre-K. I will be teaching online pre-K starting June 16th. So get with me so that you can sign your pre-K up so I can get them together for kindergarten. Excuse me. I have another thing. My sister, Latoya, I have Epperson. She has a nonprofit organization called Love for Warriors, Inc. It is about a mother speaking from a broken heart, God's peace through gun violence. It is June 28th, 11 to 2. The tickets are $40. And if you would like to purchase tickets, because tickets are available, you have until June 1st to purchase tickets. Again, the date is June 28th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tickets are $40. The location is at the BV Community Center, 1940 South Outer Drive. And if you want more details, you can call 989-282-7900. Again, the CEO, Toya Epperson, Love for Warriors, Inc. This is for a nonprofit organization to help the homeless men that are veterans, to get them into places, get them into housing. So if you can't make it that day, contact her and donate. Oh, look at my grandbaby says slay. Thank you, grandbaby. All right. I want to say happy anniversary again to my hubby. We celebrated 28 years on Saturday, May 10th. 28 years. That was a milestone. 28 years. So I just want to wish him a happy anniversary again. Through all our ups and downs, we made it. That's what my post said on Facebook. We made it. And we did. We made it. And it's all right. So we're going to get into menopause and perimenopause. And before we get into that, I want to bring in my guest, my special guest. I'm so excited. It's my sis, Shanna. Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
Hey.
Congrats on your podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Me and
Thank you for having me. I'm
yes.
excited.
Thank you, sis. Keisha said happy anniversary to me and my baby. Thank you, sis. Yeah, I'm excited. Me and Shauna, we've been friends. Ooh, how many years has it been?
It's got to be over 20 because our oldest are in their 30s, right? Because we met when they was in
Yes.
elementary. So it's got to be
Yep.
20.
Yes. 20 plus years. That's crazy. Wow. I'm thank you, grandbaby. Our grandbaby said happy anniversary. But I am glad that, we stand the test of time. It's rare when you got friendships that last that long. That's true friendships
Very,
anyway, especially from a
very,
female's perspective.
no
So we're
doubt.
gonna get into this right. We're gonna get into the show about menopause and perimenopause. Ooh, what you think
How
about
much
that?
time we got? I'm just playing, no.
Okay. I know. Look,
Pen and paper.
I'm hot right now. Like
Oh, I
hot.
no, I got an air purifier going, and because a little
Oh.
bit of air, and I'm thinking about opening up the window. So
Oh, I had the fan, the ceiling fan on, the window was open. Like
right.
it's just like I can't. But you know what? I got some definitions for menopause. It says that when it's a point when a woman no longer has a period. So 12 consecutive months they don't have periods and they go through menopause. They but I didn't know this though, Shauna. Did you know there were 5 stages of menopause? I didn't know it. Like,
We in trouble.
that's what I'm saying. Like, when I was looking at up, I was like, what is going on? Now, did your mom, like when you were growing up, did you ever see your mom with going through menopause or anything? Do you remember ever seeing that?
I had no clue. I didn't know anything about what she went through until maybe about a year ago. Bringing things up with
Hmm.
I was going through and asking her about it, and when she went in,
Hmm.
I'm like, how did I not see that?
Right, right.
She went through.
Oh, I know. I remember my mom. It never was talked about. Like I don't remember my mom talking about us. Like, oh, I'm going through menopause. I remember one day we were sitting around and she took like a piece of paper and was fanning herself, and she was like, "Ooh," and I think she said, "I'm going through." Was it summer night or something like they say? I'm going through a summer night, and I'm like, "What? What is a summer night?" And we never talked about it until I got older, was married.
Mhm, mhm.
She was still going through menopause earlier in my marriage, and that's when we talked about it, but we never and then I
Um,
start thinking like, wow, okay, now I was thinking about I'm seeing different how she went through it, like, with the
mhm,
attitudes and the different
mm,
moods and all of that. And I'm like, okay, that's what she's
mhm,
going through. And now we're
mhm.
sitting here going through it.
Yeah. I think maybe my grandma brought up the term change because
That's yep, the
what
change.
happened, because not, I'm trying to be funny, but um, I went to a Baptist church when I was a little girl. And
Okay.
it would be sometimes older women, like my
Mhm.
grandma's age,
Mhm.
that have a small child. And I thought it was their grandchild or great grandchild. It
And
was
it was
their child. And so my
oh
mom,
wow.
oh, that's a change baby. And I'm like,
Oh
what's a
wow.
change baby? Because
What?
going through menopause, the changing of the body chemistry
Mhm.
and sex and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff, and maybe she thought she wasn't having periods no more, but
Right.
we got us
Yeah.
a baby, and I'm
Right.
60, and I'm sure it was a 60, but I'm just saying,
Right.
that's what the change baby is. You going through that
Ooh.
change, and you got pregnant.
Mm-mm. I ain't trying to pop up and have no babies. But you know what? That's where it comes with the perimenopause. We
Okay.
have more than a
Ooh.
coach. Oh, he says, so now I see why you be tripping.
Now, big bro, don't get started.
Oh,
Now,
you see
this
your
her
grandbaby
bag.
talking about wow, Papa. Yeah, grandbaby. You see Papa trying to be funny? Whatever. But that's when that perimenopause comes. Cause see, I had never heard of perimenopause. They always talk about menopause, but they never talk about perimenopause. And
Mm-hmm.
perimenopause is like when you going through, I guess you're transitioning to menopause, but you still have irregular periods and stuff. So you still have that. So there is a chance. That's probably what they were going through. There is
Maybe
a
that's
chance
what
that
it was.
you
Yeah.
can get pregnant, but
Mhm.
I bet not. Talking about you pregnant. Pregnant where?
Right.
No,
Wow.
no, no,
Growing
no.
up with the grandkids, be like, who is that?
Right,
Your
right.
auntie, your uncle. Be like, oh wait.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Our kids is in their 30s and 20s, and then you got a little 1 year old. What?
Starting
Nah,
over.
I'm good.
Starting
I'm
over.
I'm
Right.
good.
Right.
Sis Keisha said, I don't know, it was 5 stages. Yes, it's 5 stages of menopause, and I'm about to read the 5 stages. It's called More Than a Coach says, what? Look at him. Look,
Oh.
you just want to cut up on me. Just want to cut up on me. So the 5 stages, one is called a menarche, menarche, the onset of menstruation, marking the beginning of a woman's reproductive years. And then we have premenopause, is the period before any menopausal symptoms appear. And
Mm,
then you have perimenopause. And that's what I was just talking about, the transition phase where hormone levels fluctuate, causing irregular periods and other symptoms like hot flashes. And
mm.
then you have the menopause is the point when a woman has not had a menstrual period for 12 consecutive months. And then there's postmenopause, the period after menopause when a woman is considered postmenopause. So I guess that's just the end
It's
of it.
done.
No, no, it's done. It's
Did it
it's
come?
done.
Do it come with a year? The time span, Joy? Can you see them years on there? They put that in there.
No, that's what I'm
Perry,
saying. I'm like,
Perry should
what?
be 1 month. Minnow, 2 months,
Okay,
and Poe. I
okay.
mean, come on.
Come on, like who got time to go through? We already go through enough. I don't got time for that. I don't. I don't have time for that. And then like the symptoms, both the symptoms is alike. Like menopause and perimenopause symptoms are it varies, but the hot flashes, the night sweats, sleep problems, mood changes. And with
Mhm.
perimenopause, it's the same thing. The only thing that's different is from perimenopause and menopause is the irregular periods. Because when
Oh,
you're in full menopause, you are not supposed to have a period for 12 months, period. Like
wow.
consecutive. My hubby said, should my granddaughter listen to this show tonight? Yes, she can.
Yes.
Look,
Mm.
she's a young
She
girl.
gonna get
She's
educated
growing
early. She
up.
gonna
Okay,
know.
she's growing up.
Hmm. Right.
She is growing up. Yeah. And so I go through the night sweats where I'm real hot.
Mm,
Like my body feel like it's on fire. I go through that. And then the mood swings, sometimes I go through that too.
oh,
Where I could be up like, hey, and then I'm like, don't bother me. Mm-mm.
mhm,
I don't feel like
mhm,
being bothered. And then
mhm,
they say the thinning of the hair and I was reading sometimes you get the itchy skin and where you
mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm like, what are we supposed to do? I'm not a
Right.
medication person because I already go through,
Mhm,
all these different medications as it is with my health problems, but what I don't want to be on medicine.
mhm. Right. Right. Right.
I do not want to be on no medicine.
Right. Well, my situation is different. So, um, the timing and the stages of the menopause, what you were just reading, I started reflecting and going back.
Mm,
Um, and menopause meaning no more periods. Um,
yes.
about 9 years ago, I had a hysterectomy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I would say in my late 30s was when I had my first conversation with my OB-GYN about menopause. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, now why are we talking about that? Um,
Right.
there were benign tumors
Mm-hmm.
that were forming on my uterus.
Oh
Fi-
wow.
Fibroids, that's what
Yeah,
they
fibroid tumors.
and yeah, and they were not going away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my periods were heavier than what they should have been, and I did not know that's where that came from until she brought things up. I thought it was something
Mm-hmm.
going through like stress.
Yeah.
And she explained all the symptoms of fibroids, and she said you really need to think about having a hysterectomy, like,
Mm-hmm.
sooner than later. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go through with that because um, I just, that term is scary. And I just,
Mm-hmm.
like, how am I going to have something like that? And then she asked if I wanted any more kids, any more children. And at the time, I wasn't married, I wasn't even dating. And being almost 40, I knew I didn't want more children. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no. And she said, well, there's certain, ways that we can, uh, eliminate those fibroids, but a hysterectomy would just take all of it away. And then,
Yeah.
then she brought up menopause. So she said, you are way too young to wait until the stage of menopause because she says fibroids go away during that stage. And
Oh
she said,
wow.
she said, 10 plus years from now, she said,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be dealing with what you're dealing with these cycles, you know,
Oh
and
yeah.
I don't want you going through having these fibroids just growing and growing and growing, and there's so many, and it's just out of control. So
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and I was about it was about 9 years ago. I was about 43, and
Mm-hmm.
hysterectomy, and then she brought up another question. She was like, "Well," she said, "you can have a partial or a total." She said,
Okay.
we got to remove the part, the uterus,
Mm-hmm.
fibroids are growing on." But
Mm-hmm.
she said, if I remove your ovaries, she said you'll be in menopause right after the procedure is done. And I was like, are they
Wow.
okay? I was like, if they're fine, leave them alone. She said,
Mm-hmm.
okay. But she said some women, she said, while I'm in there, she said some women just opt to have the whole all
Thing, yeah.
taken out. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, if the ovaries are fine and that menopause, that M word, that scared me. I'm
Yeah.
already getting ready to have a hysterectomy. That's major surgery. And then I'm gonna be in menopause when it's over. So I said no. So you want to get to Keisha?
Sis said, I have a total of 4 fibroids on my uterus now. They're not big, but they're bothersome. Heavy cycle. My first 2 days of my cycle suggested I have a partial hysterectomy, but I have declined.
Oh,
For, hold on, she's still saying
oh,
something.
okay.
For now, I have to have a biopsy, so I'm kind of nervous, especially when ovarian cancer is hereditary in my family. Well, sis, we're going to be praying
Okay.
for you.
Praying for you,
For
yeah.
sure. For
Mm-hmm.
sure. We're praying for
Mm-hmm.
you for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And
Keisha, what I would say to you is that the best thing that you're doing is um, you're monitoring it with your
mhm,
doctor.
mhm,
And I've had that biopsy. I know exactly what you're talking about.
mhm.
Um,
I had it too.
I had my mother with me. She was with me when I had that biopsy. And so my advice would be for you is just know what's best for you. You
Mhm.
know your body.
Yep.
Um, my body wasn't bothered, but when I had those cycles, they were embarrassing.
You
There were
welcome,
times
sis. She said
there
thanks.
okay, there were times where I didn't want to go anywhere because they were so heavy. So
Mhm.
year after year, when I waited and the fibroids were getting worse, that's
Yeah.
when I decided because I wasn't gonna have it. But
Mhm.
I had an ultrasound every time I had my yearly exam.
Okay.
And so that's how they were monitoring it. And every
Oh.
year I went in, it was more and more, and they got larger.
Ooh.
Hey, they gotta go then. So
Yeah.
that's it. It took about Keisha. It took me about maybe 2 or 3 years before I actually had the surgery. I didn't have it right away because
Mhm.
I didn't want it. I was like, okay, they might go away, and no. So yeah, but yeah. So that's what happened to me. And so after that procedure, even though my ovaries weren't removed, I always kind of thought I was always in menopause because it's like, well, I don't cycle
Oh,
for right.
mhm.
So aren't I in menopause? So
Right.
I didn't really start seeing symptoms until maybe about 5 years ago.
Hello.
So hi. Mhm.
Yeah, I had a partial hysterectomy. I didn't have the full blown hysterectomy. I had a partial hysterectomy. So,
Mhm.
and I always had problems with fibroids. It just, that's how it was. I always, and they're so freaking uncomfortable.
Mm.
Yep, I'm
Good.
just monitoring. Yep, that's good,
That-
sis. Just continue to monitor it.
That's right. That's right. Hmm.
KXY TBH. She said go. Okay. Well, yeah, so can just continue to monitor it, sis, like
Hmm.
Shauna said, because but we're gonna be praying for you. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. She said, because I'm like, who is oh, this Michelle. Hey Michelle, how you doing? I am coming up under my daughter's name. Okay, okay. How you doing, Michelle? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I had a partial hysterectomy too, but I think that I was probably a couple of months ago, probably I'm gonna say no, I'm gonna say last year in 2024, probably around the time that I was in the hospital during that time until probably January, February. That's when it was irregular.
Hmm.
Just 1 month I wouldn't. Another month it'll be 2 days. Another month it'll be 3 days. Another month it'll be one day. You know, so it was
Hmm.
just up and down, up and
Hmm.
down. But and I was talking to my little sister, and she was like, "But you at an age where you should be just menopausing." She was like, "I'm 40
Hmm.
something, and I'm perimenopausing, and you should be menopause."
Hmm.
I said, "But it's not that. I'm still
Hmm.
the up and down menstrual, you know."
Hmm.
But now I think I am going into full blown menopause now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
girl, I'm 9 years period free. Woo.
Ooh, wee.
And I was like, what?
Hallelujah.
I wouldn't wish that on nobody. Like, don't have that surgery
Right,
just not to have no
right,
periods
right,
anymore.
right,
But
right.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
serious surgery. It took me
Mhm,
like, 6 to 8 weeks to recover. It was, I was off,
mhm.
but like I
Yeah,
said, I've always thought, am I in menopause? So
yeah.
with what you're saying about those stages, I guess I
Mhm.
skipped the first two. My hormones got tested last year, and
Okay.
my doctor said now you're in perimenopause. So I guess finally, yeah, I'm in that third stage, but I guess I skipped the first two because
Yeah, I
I,
didn't even know it was 5 stages.
yeah,
I didn't even know any, like I said, I didn't know anything about perimenopause. I'm like, perimenopause, and then all I knew was menopause, and I didn't know that
mhm,
much about menopause.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I'm just thinking like it's just menopause, 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 but you have all
mhm,
these 5 different
mhm,
stages of how you go
mhm,
through all of this, and
mhm,
that really explains a lot
yeah,
of
right,
what a woman is going through
yeah,
and how a woman is.
mhm,
Yeah, because
mhm,
it's like you going through all these different stages of
right,
menopause.
right,
And
yeah,
so I'm just like, what can we do? Because we
mhm.
don't talk about it a lot. We see these
At all.
commercials and you see this stuff about medicine and everything. But what can we do? I would rather do a natural. Like I was looking up some things to do, and they was like kind of de-stress,
Yeah,
exercise, and stuff. Maybe change your diet,
yeah,
and stuff like that. But a
mhm.
lot of times, that goes through menopause goes through menopause differently.
It does. Yeah, I
And
think
I,
it depends on the lifestyle. Like you said, every
yeah.
body is different.
Mhm.
You
And I
know.
think that, it affects you mentally as a woman
Mhm.
because your body is changing. You
Yeah.
may not feel like you felt before, you
Mhm.
know, and it's just a lot, and it can cause mentally,
Yeah.
and some are worse than others.
Yeah.
So how can they, I'm thinking like how can they or how can we as women like deal with that we can turn it around and make it more positive where we can deal with that, because it is a stressful thing. They say less
Mhm.
stress, but you're going through these stages
Yeah.
and you going
Yeah.
through these ups and downs in these moods. How can
Mhm.
we change that narrative, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that's why it was so important for me today for my first show to be about it, because I had been going through it. And I'm like, you know what? We need to talk about it. You know,
Yeah.
this is a ladies' conversation
Mhm.
and this is from a lady's perspective, and I want to talk about it. I want
Yeah.
to know,
Mhm.
because I know I'm not the only one out there going through it.
Right. 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 The biggest thing for me,
Oh,
um,
Kaya, my grandbaby, excuse me. She said, "Is this
oh,
dangerous?" No, it's not, baby. It's not dangerous at all.
it's
I'll explain it to you
good.
when
Oh,
you come over. Vachelle said I started at 45 with going through having periods for months, then not having them. Then my period stopped. I am 52 and now I'm still going through menopause. Yep, that's
mm,
the stages. That's
my,
the stages. My husband says, "So how can your spouse help you during this time?" And that's a good question. Like if you're in a relationship or with the, boyfriend or your
mhm,
husband,
mhm,
how can they just
mhm.
understand and be
I think, yeah.
informed,
I,
have the information.
yeah, I would say that too. Yep, that communication piece,
Mhm.
doing research together, may-
Mhm.
being maybe even going to the doctor together to
Yep.
understand. Because I mean, they don't know. Men don't know.
No, they don't.
You
And he
know,
didn't
it's
know. He just
oh,
asked
you
me
just being
yesterday.
moody, or you got
Yeah,
attitude. You
yeah.
know.
He just asked me yesterday when I was talking about it, when we was talking about the show, and he said, "So are you going through it?" I'm like, "Yep, I am." See, because he didn't know. It wasn't like I was walking around saying, "Whoo, I'm going through menopause," and I
Mhm,
didn't. So
mhm.
he didn't know. So it
Yeah,
is very important to communicate. And
mhm.
Vachelle, that we was just talking about the different stages and stuff, because I'm 52, Vachelle too. So I'm going through it too. So yeah, it's a lot. It
Yeah.
is. It's a lot.
The biggest thing for me, and I am going to do better. I think I'm just gonna really, get with my doctor a little deeper, or maybe if she can
Mhm.
pinpoint me, is the sleep.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
so tired. I'm tired right
oh my gosh.
up. I'm too tired to work. I'm too tired to do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And I would say for about 5+ years, maybe no more than 6,
Mhm.
it was something that I started going through. And I wouldn't call it insomnia then, but
Mhm.
I would term it as insomnia until I found out I was a perimenopause
Oh, okay.
research, and that is one of the symptoms, but
Yep, it
it's not
is.
to everybody.
Yep.
And I'm really concerned about not getting enough sleep because I don't know
Mhm.
what that's doing. I mean,
Mhm.
some days it's really hard for me to like work because I'm
Mhm.
tired to work. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, I can sleep now. I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm real tired. I can probably sleep for like 3, 4 hours straight.
Yeah.
Then that 2, 3 o'clock,
Mhm.
I'm up
Yep.
and I'm just laying in the bed, tossing and turning. I'm
Yep.
forcing my eyes to be closed. I gotta get up for work around
Yes.
7. I mean,
Yes.
I can't be up at 3 o'clock just like looking around or watching TV. I'm not
Right.
gonna have any energy at all.
Mhm.
And so I've looked into changing my bed sheets. I have
Oh,
bought
okay.
I have bought better bed sheets that are softer, or
Okay.
something
Yeah.
different to, you know, air purifier. I have a small
Mhm.
in my bedroom to, like, I don't know, filter the air to be cleaner so I can go to bed.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Trying to figure out what's going on. Sis Keish says sometimes we as women go through so many changes when it comes to our body, which can be very overwhelming. The best thing for the husband or boyfriend can do is to just be patient and understanding. Yep. And that communication piece. Keisha said we can be happy, mean, moody, sad, just quiet. Menopause is ain't no joke. And it's
right,
not. It's
right.
not. And then my husband said, "Yes, she do, Miss Attitude over here."
Listen,
Last night I
bro.
could not sleep. I got hot where I touched my body and it felt like it was on fire. And I tossed and turned, kept tossing and
Mhm.
turning, kept tossing and turning. And I
Mhm.
already have a hard time sleeping. Be part of my health issues is that when
Yeah.
I have pain, I can't get
Yeah.
comfortable. And then on top
Mhm.
of that, I'm going through this and now I can't sleep. It
Mhm.
I'm so tired. I'm
Mhm.
sluggish. I have no energy. It's just like,
Mhm.
please,
It's
I
not.
just wanna sleep.
I just want to sleep. Can I get 8
Can I sleep?
one time?
That's
One day, can I get the 8? You
yes.
know?
Can I
So
just sleep? I cannot sleep. And you know what? Like you said, I'll fall asleep for about 4 hours, but about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm up tossing and turning. I'm hot. I'm opening the window
wide
wide
awake.
open. It
Mhm.
could be
Mhm.
20 degrees out and I got that window open and he'll be like, it's freezing in here. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
hot. Like I am
Mhm.
burning up. So
Mhm.
it's just like,
Mhm.
man.
Mhm.
Look, that's our grand. Nope, that's Michelle. She said, "Don't use them silk sheets, just some cotton sheets." But there
Oh, nope,
are sheets out
it's all cotton. Mm-mm.
there. Okay,
I don't use silk. No, I use it's a certain thread count. I would say at least 1,000 or so.
okay.
I
She
don't.
said it's sheets out for menopause. I'm gonna Google that. Michelle, thank you
Mm,
for telling
okay.
me that because I didn't know
Mm,
that.
mm-hmm.
I need some.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need some because
And
I
then,
talk turn.
yeah, and then along with being so tired is I don't know if this is part of it, but it's like kind of like being forgetful. It's like
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh,
like
they had
brain.
Kohl's. She said they had Kohl's, sis.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm
I
showing up.
get
Gonna look them up.
most
Thank you.
most of my bed sheets are jersey knit, and
Okay.
I have bought some jersey knit from Kohl's and from Target. They're actually really good.
Okay.
But I'll look into those too. Those
Yeah,
knit
I sure
sheets.
will.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's just like just being forgetful. It's like I know that person's
Mhm.
name, or I know the name of that
Mhm.
song, or I know that celebrity. Wait a minute, I know what they're called, and it just won't come to mind.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's brain fog. I don't know if that's part of it, but it might be just being so tired you're exhausted.
Mhm.
You know,
They
and
said
that
that's one of
thinking,
the
and
symptoms though,
I
brain
don't know,
fog, where you just
that's a
forget.
big concern. Right.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
is a big
Being
concern.
meetings at work and can't even explain myself right. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm about to
you be
go.
like, I know I was gonna tell y'all something, but let me see,
I'm about to
yeah.
go.
Yeah, I brain fog all the time. It's just like, and then it seemed like it got worse after I had that stroke last year because I
Wow.
still have the problems on my left side of my brain and stuff. So it's just like, man, I'll forget in a minute, and I have to ask Kevin. I'll be like, when did that? And he'd be like, babe, you just, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. Mm-mm,
Mm,
no,
wow. And
no.
as far as those hot flashes, Joya,
Ooh,
um, I have not had night sweats really. I
ooh,
mean, like I've sweat at night, okay. You know, but as far
yeah.
as the night sweats that you're talking about, I haven't
Mhm.
experienced that.
Oh,
And
that's a
as far as the
blessing.
hot flashes, they got me good last year. Like I
Mm.
literally would be on fire, but I
Mhm.
started pinpointing what I was eating because I
Okay,
started noticing that they would just come after I ate something. I'm like, now why?
okay.
You know, I'm fine. But then, and
Mhm.
so I started cutting what was from my diet, what was, uh, associated with hot flashes. So I've actually, for now, kept things under control.
Okay.
There are days like yesterday, I think I was just hot. Just
Yeah.
you get that little bead of sweat, right? You
Mhm.
feel that little, and
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, a
Right
little
up in
air.
here.
You feel that air that come through and it's like, oh, I'm sweating up here, my
Yeah.
pores are open. You know, it
Yeah.
starts up there and it can just,
Mhm. Yep.
so I'm trying to keep the hot flashes under control, but
That's
um
when they say about your diet. They said, to change that diet because that'll help eliminate a lot of symptoms also. You start changing that diet. Sis Keish said, I have been told that sometimes certain mattresses help with menopause, but I can't afford no special type of mattress for no menopause at all. I understand
yeah,
that, sis.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
look
do.
into that too. It's
Yeah, I
probably
didn't
a
know
cool
that.
one, I wonder. You know those mattresses they got? I
Oh,
forgot.
the Serta ones. My hubby said, yes, sis, we need one of them $5,000 beds. And that's the point about what Keish, our
The
sister,
cool
is saying
side.
about that mattress. Cause some mattresses be like 3,000 and up, like
Yeah.
the Serta mattresses and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sis
Mm-hmm.
said, I guess these type of mattresses where you can control the temperature
Yep,
of the mattress
they
so to
are.
maintain your body heat. Yep,
Yep,
that's
that's
them
what they
Serta,
are.
the
Mm-hmm.
Serta ones. Cause I
Mm-hmm.
looked into them and the cheapest one, and it was a smaller one. It was like 35, 38. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I
What about cooling pillows? I haven't looked into that, but there's cooling pillows.
oh, I didn't know it was cooling pillows.
It's something about your body temperature, something like that. Either it's a
And
pillow
it'll cool it
or
down.
the
Okay.
actual material in the pillow. And I think I've seen them at JC Penney's or
Oh
something.
wow, I'm gonna look
You
into
know,
that too.
yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna
like
definitely look into
contour
that.
kind, no, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
I don't know if
Yeah.
contour or that certain shape of it might bother, you know,
Okay.
or something like that. But I
Mhm.
guess cooling. So
Mm.
to look into that myself, I guess,
Ye
because what was it today? I don't know. Was it 70 something today? It was about 80 yesterday. Now
yes.
here's this hot weather rolling around and hot flashes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's as sis said, yes, I've heard of the cooling pillows. Yes, I'm definitely gonna look into the sheets, which Michelle said, and the pillows and
Let me price that mattress
okay,
though.
okay. Cause
Hang on.
contour. Okay. Okay, sis.
Oh.
It says contour brand. Okay. Yeah, cause I'm telling you, I be so hot. I sit up and I be like, and my body be just so hot, and I be doing that. I'll be opening that window, then that curtain, then and I turn on the ceiling fan. I take off the covers. I'm like, oh, this is just terrible. Like, and then it's about to
Mm-hmm.
be hot, and then I'm hot flashing. Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
So, what
Mm.
is it like with you with foods? Are there certain foods that you eat and it's like, ooh, just
You
I
know
mean,
what?
can you eat hot foods,
I
spicy foods? Are
I
you fine?
love spicy foods, but I never paid attention if my foods have anything to do with it, and I need to start. I never paid attention to that, you know.
Mhm,
So it might
mhm,
be something that I eat, which I rarely eat now because my appetite, and stuff. But it's
mhm.
like it might be. It might
Start
be
paying
something.
attention.
I definitely will.
I had to cut turkey bacon.
For real, turkey bacon.
Every time I ate it, I would just start sweating profusely, and I couldn't figure out why. And then one day I made an a point to be like, okay, isn't this turkey bacon? I
Mm.
just one bite, it was over. I'm talking about not at that moment, it was for the day. It threw
Oh
me
my
off for the
god!
day. I
Seriously?
just so I had to stop eating that.
Oh my gosh, sis Keisha said,
Oh,
"Don't even price that mattress. You gonna be pissed."
okay. I guess the pillow then. The what is it? The menopause sheets and the pillow then. That's what we'll do. We'll start small.
Okay, she said fruit cools her off. I can see that.
Okay.
I can see fruit.
Okay.
And you know what I start eating that I noticed too about fruit, and this is something, and now that I'm thinking about it and we talking about it, I just started getting into dragon fruit. And I
Oh.
realized eating dragon fruit, my
Mm,
body would kind of cool off.
mm.
And so
Okay.
I'm like, dragon fruit. So I want to start implementing dragon fruit into more
That's
into
good.
my
Mm,
diet and stuff. But yeah,
mm,
I can see fruit cooling
mhm,
off. Yep, I can. I
mhm.
can see that. Keish says stick to the sheets and the pillow for now, Shauna.
I
Right.
will, but no, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, you gonna call me, Shauna, and be like, sis, that bed was $5,620.
Hit the lotto. Like, hold up,
Oh my
Powerball, something for that
gosh.
matter.
Serious. For real, Michelle, be like $5,620 for real. Keisha
Mm-mm-mm.
said dragon fruit is delicious and it cools you off. Says good. Okay, so
Mm-mm.
I am doing it right then. Yeah. But girl, dragon fruit is $5.99 a piece.
I don't know. I don't
No
know.
bacon.
Mm.
Babe, what you talking about? No bacon? You don't hot flash.
Right.
He talking about I can't get no bacon. You don't hot flash? No, but yeah.
Ketchup used to ketchup used to be really bad for me,
Oh,
and
did ketchup?
I would say about a year ago, but I was like, we just gonna sweat with that one because
Okay.
on them fries on that burger. So it's
Okay.
a little better now. So I don't know
Mhm.
if it's a certain brand or my body was just like going through trying to get adjusted.
Mhm.
But I don't care. I'll be fanning up under the
Be like,
AC and stuff with ketchup.
you
I
dip
don't play
that
games with
ketchup.
that.
Mhm.
Turkey
Yeah,
bacon vibe, not the ketchup.
Imma
Mm-mm.
have to, pay attention because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
never think about that
Yep.
and, like,
And cut
what
that
should
salt.
I
Cut that
mhm.
salt.
Oh,
That
and I
I
love me some
have a lot
salt.
of salt
Mm.
in my diet anyway. It's been for years. I kind of laid off on salt, but every once in a while I'll kick it up and
Mhm.
I feel it. I'm like, okay, yep, no salt then. Okay.
Okay. I know
That'll
when I intake a lot of salt, I swell. Like, I do, I
mm,
swell, like, I do. I feel it. You can feel it, and I'm like, "Ooh, I didn't put too much salt. I didn't ate too much salt that whole week or something." So, I
yeah.
feel it. I do that with sugar too. I be trying, but sugar is something that mm.
Oh,
That yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I don't
I do.
really
I
eat them.
love me some
Oh, okay.
yeah, I love sugar, and I feel like that too can play a part because before I
Mm-hmm.
go to bed, I'll eat me a little sugar something, like a little cake or
Oh,
something.
oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, I wonder, does that trigger? Because sugar triggers a lot of
Mm,
things. Sugar triggers
mm,
a lot of
oh,
things. Sis said, I have read that once you hit menopause, your metabolism slows down too. It's much harder to lose weight, so watch your salt and sugar intake. Yep, it is. It is hard. They
mm,
say it's like your
mm,
weight fluctuates, goes up and down.
mm,
Michelle said it's so hard to lose weight going through menopause as well. Yep. Yep, I
mm,
read that
mm,
too, Michelle. Like that
mm.
that menopausal weight. That's what they call it. The
That's
menopausal weight.
mhm.
Especially they said in the midsection, the stomach.
That's what I've
It's
heard.
yep,
Mhm,
it's hard to lose that in the
mhm,
midsection. So it is important
mhm.
for us to
Yeah,
watch what we eat and what we
mhm,
intake. It is so important. It is. It's
yeah.
very important.
And I'm trying to kick up my workout
Terrible late
because
night eating.
I
I know,
heard I
babe, you
read
be sleep.
working out. Oh, what'd he
He said
say?
he said, terrible late night eating. He be sleeping.
And you be throwing down.
I be throwing
Mhm.
down. You said that you work out with that?
Yeah, I'm trying to form a consistent. That's the
Okay.
hard thing is
Yeah.
consistency. But I have
Mhm.
read that working out might help with sleeping better because
Uh-huh. I've heard that too.
goes through maybe you made your body more tired. I don't know.
Mhm.
And I'm really trying to do that because I want to sleep. You know,
Yes.
I have read some things about some things that are connected to not enough sleep, and I don't want that.
Yeah. Sleep
I'm
is
really
very
trying.
important.
Yeah, it is, and I'm just like, what can I do? And um, my beautician has said that magnesium is good for
Yep.
sleep,
Yep.
and I researched it, and I'm scared of the doses. I don't know what to.
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring it up to my doctor and see because what was it that me and you tried that melatonin? That was
Girl,
awesome
that
for
didn't
me.
do nothing. That
That's
didn't do
nothing.
nothing. It seemed like
I
it kept me
like
up. I'm like,
it gave
melatonin
me
didn't
headache.
do nothing. It seemed like it kept me up. I was like, why am I up?
Mm-mm,
Like,
mm-mm.
why am I? And I can't take magnesium because of certain medicine that I'm on. So I can't because my doctor had told me about magnesium, but I can't take it.
Yeah.
Kaya, my grandbaby said my teacher get hot flashes, so I be cold in the classroom because she always has a fan on. Yep,
Oh, yeah.
yep, that's true, grandbaby.
Work.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
Oh, so now she gonna know when she go to class. Oh, she menopausal. Oh,
Yep, yep.
no,
Great
that's
show,
good.
ladies. Very informational for ladies to learn. It is. I appreciate that. Really do. We could talk about this all night. We can talk about
Exactly.
this all night long because it's something that I feel like needs to be talked about. Because
Mm,
like I said, I saw my mom like fanning herself and stuff, but she never really, we talked about
mhm.
it or anything till I got older. So it
Yeah.
is something, and I appreciate you sharing your story. Keisha said melatonin is horrible, y'all. It makes me hyper. Thank you, sis, because I'm telling you, I took that melatonin and was up. I'm like, I thought this was supposed to make me sleep, but it didn't do anything, but it just kept me up. I'm like, nope, never
Waste
again.
of money.
Yep,
Mm-mm.
it was. It was a waste of money. But I thank you, sis. I'm about to end the show. I know you have to go to work tomorrow and everybody got to go to work, but I appreciate you guys. This first show was so exciting to me. And sis, you know I'm going to have you on. You know that, right? But before we go, I want to share some things about menopause. We're going to start off with this right here, sis. It says how menopause affects the body. Remember the brain fog, the depression, anxiety, dry eyes and mouth, sexual dysfunction, weight gain, dry skin and nails, bone loss, hot
Wow.
flashes, and thinning hair.
It's so
Wow.
much than what I thought. Wow.
Yes. Like,
Mhm.
ooh, ooh, wee. And this one right here is just about the menopause symptoms, the same thing, the hot flashes and the night sweats and difficulty sleeping, because we all go through that, just different changes, vaginal dryness, all of that, just different irregular periods, all
Mhm.
of that. So,
Mhm.
ladies, just talk with your doctor. Please talk with your
Mhm.
doctor. Change your diet. Kaya said, and TT Puni was about to give Melissa. I know. Yeah, sis Keish said that great show, ladies. Very informative. Thank you, sis. Vachelle said, you are welcome. Very informational. Enjoyed it. Thank you, Vachelle, for joining in. I enjoyed you coming in too. And my grandbaby said was about to give. Oh, yeah, yeah. And that's different, grandbaby, from adult melatonin. So that's different. Yeah. But
Yeah, yeah.
um, I just say, ladies, you know what? Just talk with your doctor, change the diet and different things. We're
Mhm.
gonna look into the sheets and the
Yeah.
pillows and stuff
We
like
sure
that.
are. Yep.
But
And
I enjoyed
journal.
you. Yeah, I
Journal,
enjoyed you on.
journal, journal.
Oh
Anything
yes,
normal, please write it down. I've been
yep.
journaling about my health since I had that procedure. And
Hmm.
anything that's out of the normal, I write it down, especially when
Yes.
it's coming down to menopause. Like
Hmm.
I said, if the hot flashes or the night sweats are just excessive, it's out of control,
Yep.
don't, brush that or put that on the back burner. Keep that, at hand and let your doctor,
Hmm.
because it's something tied to something else, maybe a stress or something, but, maybe
Yep.
something can be done about that. So, because
Yep.
there's so many other different signs and symptoms that aren't even on,
That's not on there.
this show.
Yeah.
We're all different. And
Yep, we all different.
yeah.
We all go through menopause differently, and might be some symptoms that I'm going through that you're not even, going through. So yeah, it is. It's very, but thank you, sis, for joining me. I'm gonna have you on
Thank you
again.
for having
Love
me.
the conversation.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you have
appreciate
a good night,
you
and I'll
too, too.
talk
And
to
I'm
you.
excited for you. More shows
Thank
coming.
you. Yes, yes, yes. More shows coming. I'll talk to you later.
All
You know that. And
right.
thank everybody for joining me tonight. I appreciate you guys so much for joining Ladies Conversation with Mrs. G. See you later, Shanna.
Okay, bye. Talk later.
Bye. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. This was an exciting show. This was a very informational show. Please tune in for more shows to come. I'm just doing it once a month. My husband is trying to, okay, so my husband said I got to do it twice a month. So I'm going to come on again on Tuesday. We'll keep you informed on what Tuesday and the date, but it'll be 8 o'clock. So tune in, reach out to me on Facebook, if it's any conversation or whatever you want to talk about. This is Ladies Conversation with Mrs. G. Have a good night.